Hey guys, and welcome back to another market breakdown here with me, Mads the Trader. So I am going to start posting these every single week. Literally just my analysis, what I do every single week, but I'm just going to walk you guys through it instead of just doing it on my own. Because I thought, why not? You guys deserve it. And yeah, so let's get started. So obviously we are going to start with my baby GBPUSD. As you can see, I have already got my key levels of support and resistance on my chart. I did these with the Discord group a couple of weeks ago for Chart Tuesdays. So I'm just going to keep those on there because there's not really anything that needs to change when it comes to the monthly chart. As you can see, we are just stuck in this little mid-range here, so literally nothing else to add onto the monthly. So I'm going to go down to the weekly, and again, pretty much not really anything to add. You can see that we have just been bouncing from zone to zone. Not really anything exciting. The only thing that we can see from the weekly is that we are currently in this very, very bullish trend. We can also see that we are starting to have somewhat of like a 3-pin rejection from this last kind of resistance level. I did explain a few weeks ago that I was expecting some kind of reaction from this level, just because you can see here that this level was used as a really, really strong support, and that was a really heavy kind of propel to the upside from there. We also did fail to close as resistance over here. So I was just expecting some type of reaction. I think we also have, we've got another resistance rejection from there. I'm just going to put my phone on silent because my son's PlayStation is going crazy and he's sleeping, so we don't need to know. But yeah, so again, weekly, not really much for us other than kind of that confirmation that we are pretty much in this very bullish trend right now. So when we step down to the daily, we can now start to see a little bit clearer this really, really strong uptrend. I have already drawn this trend line on just for visual purposes. We can clearly see that we are making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So what I am expecting from this resistance level is for us to make a new higher low. However, price has been stuck in this range for the last 3 weeks, and trying to trade GBPUSD has been nothing short of hell, if I'm being honest. It has been awful. Literally every move it makes, it completely wipes out. Whether it's been a move to the downside, a move to the upside, price is just ranging. Like, this is a definition of a range. However, we can somewhat see that we do have a very ugly head and shoulders formation. Now, if you guys follow me, if you're in my Discord, you will know that a head and shoulders formation is one of my favorite chart patterns to trend. More often than not recently, we have been seeing inverse head and shoulders, which is of course indication of a bullish movement. However, we can see from this resistance level that we do have this, although ugly, is somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. So I would like to see that higher low made, maybe a tap of this trend line in the coming week. However, we do also have NFP this week. So whether the market just continues to range and then NFP comes and brings that volatility that we need to come out of this range, we don't know. But that is something that I would be anticipating. And another week of this is going to send me. But the market is the market, and we take what we're given. That is all we can do. So yeah, for our perspective, we do have that head and shoulders, but the only thing for me is the fact that we don't have a fib. So if I show you guys something that I would have been looking at, so this is how my brain has been working the last couple of weeks. So we've had this push up here. We've had basically 3 failed pushes at this level. which if you were trying to trade this, you'd probably think, yep, you've got a great entry, boom, it's broke that structure here. But then no, price came back up again. Got in here, you could probably think, okay, we're pushing down, but no, price said, yep, still going back up. Come back up here, and again, this might have been a nice entry. Again, broke the structure of this little support region here, but price just isn't continuing. It just doesn't know what it wants to do. So in my mind, the only thing that I can really see in terms of a fib would be something like this. So you can see this I'm going to use as the high, this down here is the low, and then we've had this pullback up here up to this 78.6% level. However, if we step down to the lower time frames, we can see on the 15-minute that we have actually completely closed above that 78.6%. So for me and my strategy, this does somewhat invalidate the fib. So I trade predominantly Fibonacci. So that for me, I'm like, I'm not really sure what price wants to do. We do have the structure of the somewhat of a head and shoulders formation, but not being a fib is somewhat alarming for me. So price at the moment, it literally could just continue back up again. It could come back down. We don't know. We are literally just going to have to wait for price to give us something. I think if you are trading GBPUSD at the moment, it is very much scalpers moment. There's nothing that you can swing here, not even potentially much to day trade. It is just hell right now, to put it lightly. If we have a look at the dollar index, this is more indication for a continuation back to the downside. As you can see, the dollar has been declining for pretty much the entire year. Literally from the start of January, we have just been in this downtrend, which obviously correlates with GBPUSD as it should. But yeah, again, it's just very, very bearish. So this could correlate with the fact that GU may just continue pushing up. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, we have NFP at the end of next week. So whether we're going to be waiting for another whole week of something that makes sense, who really knows? But I do know for one thing is that I will be journaling the fact that March has been awful, and I will be continuing this over maybe till next year. So next year, March, I will be a little bit more cautious. For those of you who are new, I have not been the greatest journaler. So had I been journaling through these 10 years that I have been trading, I don't know why it took me 10 years to find sense, but if I had been journaling, I probably would find that March probably just isn't a great month overall to be trading, particularly GBPUSD. But lesson I finally learned, and here we are. So that is that. I'm going to have a quick look at GJ. So GBPJPY, just take this fib off. Again, monthly, there's not really much to go off. I've already got my levels, very solid. These haven't really changed for ages. So monthly, and then the weekly levels just stay the same. As you can see, price is just reacting from these levels that I've drawn. And again, GJ is just, there's just not really any structure to it. The only thing that makes me think that this is bullish right now is the fact that we've had this wick down to this support level, and price has tried to come back down and failed to. So for me, that does indicate some type of bullish momentum. However, there's no fib, there's no structure, there's barely even a trend line. It's just not cute at all. We could maybe force a weekly trend line from this support here, something like that, just through the wick. Maybe have a tap down back to tap the trend line once more before making new highs. But it literally is just a guessing game right now. Like, there is no clear indication of where price could be going. And just to give you a bit more of a clearer view, if we look at these daily candles, you can see that price was really bullish, somewhat made a new high, and then Friday's candle just completely said, absolutely not, we're not doing that. So yeah, Again, GJ, not really anything to go off of. Euro yen, I don't really trade this anymore, but this is very similar to GJ, just not really any structure. Gold, I did call this push higher on Tuesday for Chart Tuesdays, and that was just simply from, where were we? So that would have been around here. Tuesday. So yeah, so we would have been around about here, these candles here. And it was just the pure fact that we'd had this rejection from here before breaking this wick that I thought, yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at making new highs on gold. But I do not trade gold. I have PTSD from trading gold around COVID times, and yeah, it's just not for me. USD JPY, I did have a look at this a few Chart Tuesdays ago. I would say about 3 weeks ago. Katie asked me to look at this. I don't really trade UJ, but Katie asked me to have a look, so I had a look and I identified this fib. So we did reject this 61.8% level. And I did say I was expecting some upside on this. Which we did. We pretty much did everything that I expected. So I think here, this candle is pretty much where I was looking at. So it would have been, yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago. And we did have the push up. We retested this little level of support that we have on the 4 hour. And price was making new highs. However, again, price has come to this level of resistance, and we are now pushing back down again. So whether we can see a fib from this level up here, and maybe we can come retest 61.8 or maybe a 78.6, which would align with this support over here before we make a new high. Who knows? Everything at this point is just at a pretty much, it could do anything. There is no clear direction on anything. I don't really trade any of these. I don't know why I'm looking at them. Yeah, literally nothing. But predominantly, I am looking at GBPUSD because that is what I trade. But until it gives me something solid, I may scalp next week, but it will literally just be that, scalping. I'm not looking for any kind of trades to hold. It's just not that market right now. So yeah, not really much to go off of this week, but I will maybe do a midweek call for the community. So if you are in the Discord, then there will be a call midweek. Obviously, we also have Chart Tuesdays where everyone can jump on Zoom, ask me any questions. I'll go through the charts. So yeah, if you guys aren't already in the Discord, I will put the link below in the description. If you have any questions, drop a comment. And yeah, that is pretty much it from me. And yeah, I'll be back next week with another market breakdown.